It's time for another retro shelf. So let's open the parcel and have a look at what's inside. Now we can just make out through the packaging there that this is from the Dreamcast years. So we have Dreamcast Year 1 and Dreamcast Year 2 and the DCY Fanzine, all put together by Andrew Dickinson, who is now perhaps better known for the Lost in Cult magazine. So, Dreamcast Year 1, the unofficial story of the Sega Dreamcast conception, launch and first year. So it's an unofficial and unauthorised in association with the Dreamcast Junkyard and dreamcastyears.co.uk and Gold for Gaming. The Dreamcast was meant to be a return to form for Sega after its Saturn console failed to live up to expectations, following the phenomenal success of the Mega Drive Genesis. However, less than 2 years after launching in Europe, Sega discontinued the Dreamcast and withdrew from the hardware market. Nonetheless, the system is still revered as a classic 2 decades later, and lives on thanks to a thriving fan community. In this book, you can learn how the Dreamcast came to be as well as what happened during its first year on the market. You can also understand more about the history of Sega's final console through interviews with heavy hitters from the industry, as well as retrospectives of games that put the system on the map for all the right and sometimes wrong reasons. So this is originally a Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter backers listed in the back. A foreword by Sandy Bry. The contributors, Andrew J. Dickinson, focuses mostly on PAL releases. Story of the Dreamcast, or at least the first act. And looking at some of the rivals and the technology, the free launches of the machine, European reunion, how it fared here against the PS2, Tony Stolas, Sega of America, interviewed there. Casper Field from DC UK magazine. So you can see quite a lot of interesting pieces. Ed Lomas, official Dreamcast magazine. David Kelsall, official Saturn magazine UK. Tom Charnock of the Dreamcast Junkyard. And then retrospectives. So games Sonic Adventure, Sega Rally 2, Blue Stinger, Power Stone. And look at the VMU mini graphics, Virtua Fighter 3TB, Toy Commander, Crazy Taxi, fantastic game, Tokyo Highway Challenge, The House of the Dead 2, I love that, Soul Calibur, still one of my favourite Dreamcast games, Godzilla Generations, Armada, and so some small reviews from Kickstarter backers: Dynamite Cop, Elemental Gimmick Gear, Revolt, Incoming, Mortal Kombat Gold, Romania 203, Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation, Ready to Rumble Boxing, and Soul Reaver there. The list of EU games, including the launch titles there, which is handy for collectors, and the Kickstarter backers. And coming soon, Dreamcast Year 2. Which is also in this package, which I ordered direct from Andrew on Twitter. The second year of Dreamcast was a dichotomy. More games were released for the console during this time than the rest of its lifespan, including some hugely well-received and critically acclaimed titles. However, on March 31st, 2001, the system was discontinued by its creator. This book is a love letter to Sega's swan song in the home console market, exploring the ups and downs of its most colourful year, while also analysing what went wrong, featuring interviews, featuring deep dives into various aspects of the system's games and history, plus a host of retrospectives, coupled with a release library. So, similar format to the first book. Foreword by Tom Charnock. The contributors, acknowledgement, screenshots and disclaimer. Welcome to Year 2, a golden year, power struggles, 5 Stages of Grief, A Discontinuation Odyssey, and McCorlick, the YouTuber, interviewed Corey Marshall, voice actor, Darren Jones of Retro Gamer magazine, Miguel Pontier, game developer, Ian Lean, presenter and streamer, John Linneman of Digital Foundry, Forbes Longdon of Dreamcast Today, some very interesting interviews here with some different people, Beyond Saturn, a feature, Ready Fight, fighting games on the Dreamcast, which are quite a few, Star Attraction by Faith Johnson, talking about online play and Fantasy Star Online, Control Yourself by Mike Phelan, with the various peripherals, and then retrospective, Metropolis Street Racer, which of course led to the Project Gotham series. Some interesting behind the scenes shots there. Quake Free Arena, Sword of the Berserk, Grandia 2, Mac and X, Jet Set Radio, one of my favourite Dreamcast titles, and definitely should be a modern remake of that. Power Stone 2, Ferrari F355 Challenge, Fur Fighters, Le Mans 24 Hours, the quirky and unusual Seaman, Resident Evil Code Veronica, Choo Choo Rocket, the online game, Sega Bass Fishing, Space Channel 5, I do love that, Star Lancer, Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, Dead or Alive 2, Typing of the Dead, I have 2 Dreamcast keyboards so I can play that, Fantasy Star Online, Spirit of Speed 1937, which is an interesting one, vintage Grand Prix cars, an interview with John Jones Steele of Broadsword Interactive, concept art there, D2, Tony Hawk's Skateboarding and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, both play very well on Dreamcast. Eldorado Gate Volume 1, Samba de Amigo with the maracas, Sega Gaga, Shenmue, and then again some short reviews. So we've got Rayman 2, Tomb Raider Chronicles, Omni-Man Sarge's Heroes, Sonic Shuffle, Virtua Tennis, Zombie Revenge, and then a full list of the Year 2 games with details on release dates, cover art, Kickstarter backers from Volume 2. So of course we're waiting for Volume 3. And then the DCY, Dreamcast Years Fanzine. It's a companion piece to Dreamcast Year 2. Looking at the cover, Score Reunion. So we've got Dreamcast Years Round Table from the podcast team, the Song Son of Saturn, The Advance of Handheld Gaming, A Pocket Full of Memory, looking at the Pocket Station, Xbox Day 1, and columns. So there's a cool little extra with some interesting features in there, lists of games there, talking about particular games the podcast commentators like, the end of the Saturn, games like The House of the Dead, Burning Rangers, Winter Heat, Panzer Dragoon Saga, the Advance of Handheld Gaming, looking at the Game Boy Advance, some very good games on Game Boy Advance, Sony's Pocket Station, which in a lot of ways is similar to the VMU, and the start of the Xbox, and some little extras, Scissorman, Wipeout on the N64, unfortunately I appear to have cut my finger on the packaging here, which has left a mark on the page. Perfect Trilogy, Final Fantasy on the PS1, Mods Rock. So some interesting little articles there. And more about the Dreamcast Years podcast. So, a big thank you to Andrew Dickinson for sending me these, and I look forward to reading through them. So keep watching the channel for more retro shelf videos. I'll see you in the next one.